Yummy. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Boomer in the Burbs. Long time no see. And I just want to thank you for coming on board today. Thank you for joining in. And I want to get right to the topic because we have no time to lose. Today is Monday, the 22nd day of July, and I have been off the charts or off the video for several weeks, and I'll explain to you why, because the title of this video is when when SHTF comes along. It may not necessarily be the end of the world. It may not necessarily be a nuclear bomb or whatever. So it could be something personal that has happened, just like it happened to me. And if I didn't get acute bronchitis, if that wasn't enough, June 14th, Friday, June 14th, I was out watering my garden, and all of a sudden I slipped, fell backwards, and broke my wrist in 3 places. Ouch. Yes, ouch. And I know that many of you have things that happen to you. All kinds of things happen. We never know. So my video is actually saying why I am so glad I have prepared, why I'm so happy that I was kind of sort of ready for it, and some of the things that I have put in place that you might find helpful to put in place when SHTF occurs for you on a personal level. So let me get started by saying that there are 4 things I want to talk to you about today. I slipped and fell. The hospital was 2.5 miles from my home. I knew I had a brief period to get to the hospital before the true pain set in. So I actually got up, turned the hose off. Thank God it was not my dominant hand, which is my right hand. Yes. And I drove myself to the hospital. When I got in there, I realized that I did need surgery. So I had to go through the triage, and got through the triage and happened to have Googled best hand surgeon in Atlanta and came up with the name of Dr. Starr. I know he would not mind me mentioning him with Georgia Hand, and the rest is history. I had surgery on the 18th. My good friend came and stayed with me for a couple of nights just to make sure I was okay, and I learned how to navigate with one hand. But here are the 4 things that I think are really, really important for those of you who are living by yourselves, whether you are millennials, Gen Zs, baby boomers, or even those in the silent period, the silent group, which is above the baby boomers. Here's some things that I think you really need to think about. Number 1, you need to have somewhere in your home a list of emergency numbers for people to call, because if your phone is connected to your cell phone, you have a code in there and it's not easy to find. Next, you need to have your insurances, all your insurances together, and I'll talk more about that, just for you to have your cards in your pocket and have them up to date and have them ready just in case you have to have it. Get rid of those big purses and take a small purse, and get ready, because as you can see, when you get into surgery and you get to a point where you need surgery, everything shuts down. Next, this 3rd thing I would tell you is that you basically definitely need to have a plan B. If you're living by yourself, what are you going to do? If your children are across the country, or you don't have children at all, or you don't have that many friends, you need to have someone who keeps up with you, because only by the grace of God, yes, the grace of God, I'll say it, was I not hitting my head or breaking my hip and I could not have been able to contact anyone laying flat out in the garden. I pulled up with mud on me and got into my car, and that's just the way that happened. But you need to make sure that you have somebody that checks on you routinely. I would say once a day if you can, and you all just check in or text and just move on. And the fourth thing is, your home needs to be prepared with adequate water, adequate food in the freezer or canned, so that when you get home, if this is the type of emergency you have, you do not have to worry about food. Now, I don't know what you've done to prepare, but if you haven't, I needed at least a week or two of food, and I had it. I had some soups. I had some frozen food in there that I had made, some egg rolls, and what is it that you've had? I had some jalapeno cornbread in there, and all I had to do with this one good hand was to take it out, put it in the oven or put it in a pot, and I felt content, and that means that I didn't have a lot of going out. So that is one of the things that I would suggest, one of the four things that I would suggest. As I get in and I look at other people's videos or get on their lives, and I see the people scrolling through saying the things that have happened to them, I just would like for you to really be ready, to be prepared, to be not over the top, but have what you need just in case the crap hitting the fan may not be just what you think or what you've heard, but be prepared for an emergency that would take place with you. Now, we know about hurricanes and floods and all of those things. We can't prepare for everything, but I tell you what, you need to have your paperwork in order. And one day I will tell you that this also was a wake-up call for me, and we'll talk about what we want to do when we leave this world and transition into whatever world we have conceived for ourselves, or whatever we have thought about, life after life, that you have prepared some things so that the people you left behind will not have to deal with confusion, indecision, not knowing what happened, not understanding what your will is or what your desires are. And that's all I have to say about that. So with this in mind, I'm going to end this video and tell you that I'm going to push some videos out now. I really am going to be more careful in the garden. I just came home from therapy. I have a new type cast that they have designed that they fit to your personal specifications and leave room for air to go through, so you don't have to worry about your skin deteriorating. And I just had the best care and the best therapist. Shout out to Dan, shout out to Sherry over at the therapy place. I just don't know what I would do without them. So try thinking about these four things. And if you have had your own personal experience, or your experience, or you want to talk about how you prep, I wish that you would leave the information down below. I may not have a lot of comments, but I know that many of you are thinking about me. Many of you may have been wondering what happened to me, why I dropped off. Even while I was dropping off, I did have some people to join in and subscribe. So if you could hit that like button, please subscribe, please share it out. And you know the Boomer is here to tell you that I love you. That is why I'm here. And I hope that you will stick with me as we move through the next phases of what we have to do. It's summer, y'all, and it'll almost be time to can, and I'm just figuring out how I'm going to do it. But here we go. Blessings and peace. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.